Hey everyone, my name is Bhagat Gaud. In the previous video, I showed you how to add materials to any model and rendering it. I know you are curious to make something like cars, helicopters, but you have to learn basic things like how to model a simple glass and add lighting, something like this. Let's select everything and delete it. You can also select everything by pressing A and delete. So glass will look something like a cylinder, right? So shift A, mesh, and add a cylinder. Imagine this is the floor and you want to place it on the floor, so move it in the Z axis. I want to snap it on the ground, so there is a tool for it. Here you can see a little magnet icon. After clicking it, if you move it in the Z axis, it will snap. This is called viewport grid. If you view it from any side angle, you will see it consists of grids. It will snap to the grids. So let's move it and snap it on the ground. Now we want to move the top part something to here, but if we scale it, it is going to scale it in the both sides, right? We don't want that. In Blender, any object is made up of vertices. This is called a vertex in Blender. Joining two vertices will create a line and it is called edge. This is called edge. Using these four edges, it creates a face. So here using the faces, edges and vertices, we have a cylinder. To edit that, we have to go into edit mode. We are currently in the object mode and you can see it here. To go into edit mode, you can click on it and go to edit mode to edit this. You can also go to edit mode by pressing tab on your keyboard. So in Blender you can only work on either vertices or edges and faces. Now we want to edit the face, so here you can choose either you want to edit the vertices, you can select it right here. This is edge select mode and this is face select mode. We want to select this face and move it upside. So in the edit mode, go to face select mode. I'm moving it slightly. I'm pressing G and Z to move it in the Z axis, or you can use move tool. I like working with shortcuts, so G then Z. I'm moving it here. Now I want to make the inside of the glass. Now we want to add some depth. So here you can see a tool called insert faces. In the diagram, it have a box and it inserted a face, right? So we want to make the same thing here. Select this cylinder, go to edit mode by tab. You can use this tool. You can select the circle and drag it down. I want this much depth. If you created it already and you want to go back, you can just press Ctrl Z, and the shortcut for this insert key is I. So I will go to select mode and I press I, and it will give me this a dotted line. I will go something like this much depth and then I will left click it. After adding this, if you want to scale it even more, you can scale it like this. Now we want to add some depth to it. So what should we do? Here in this diagram, it increased its shape. You can use this tool and click this and drag it upside to increase it, or if you drag it inside, it will create depth. So select this cylinder, and we already added some depth in this direction, right? If we select the extrude tool and move it downside, it will create some depth. If you stop it in the middle and you will do it again, it will create another extrude. We don't want that. Okay, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. So before doing that, you have to plan up to where you want to add the extrusion. So I want something like here. So move it in the Z axis. So the problem is we can't see what's going inside the cylinder, right? So let me Ctrl Z it. And before we discussed the render mode and material mode, and this is called solid mode, And also there is a wireframe mode. If you click on it, it will show everything in wireframe. If you click on it and drag it up to here, I want the depth. Okay, now go back to solid mode and we have this, and we added some depth. Okay, now I want to make this glass. I want to decrease the bottom side of the glass like this shape. You know how to do it, right? Select the face and scale it. If you scale it, before we created this extrusion, right? So if we select it and scale it down, it only scale outside of the glass. We want to scale it both. So we have to select both things. Select this and go inside, and you can use shift. Select this and you can scale it. And another way of doing it, by going to wireframe mode, you can select everything. Remember, you can see the dots, right? What this dot mean is, it is a face. So when we select this, there is 2 dots here. You can see that. So make sure, so when you are selecting it, you are selecting these dots. If you select like this, so it will also going to select these faces. So always remember, while you are selecting, select these both circles, go to solid mode and scale it like this. Right, now go to object mode, add a plane and scale it. So we created a glass, but if there is any glass with this sharp, we will cut our mouth, right? So we want to add that smooth rim. So how do we do that? Let's go to edit mode again. You can always press tab to go to edit mode. So we want to select outside of the glass this circle and smooth it. So if you want to select flow of the circle, you can hold alt, then press left click. If you do it going here in the middle, it will confuse it. Either we are selecting this or this. So every time go somewhere like here and hold alt, then press left click, and it will select the circle. Now to smooth it, here you can see a bevel. Here the square became something like this, right? So we want the same thing here. Select this and we want something like this. After doing it, in the left bottom, it will give you some settings. Here we only did with one line, right? If you increase it, it will create it 2, and the more you add it, the more edges it will add. You can also change it here after doing that. If you click somewhere else, the option will go, and here I am using centimeters. I changed it in the settings. You may see in meters. Make sure you are not going inside of the other mesh. Make sure it is just here. Now to remove this, you can click somewhere here and it will be gone. If you do Control Z and it won't come back, so make sure you did it correctly. We learned how to do the bevel, right? Now do the same bevel, but this time we will do it manually. So alt click to select the inner edges. The shortcut of the bevel is Control B. Press Control B and drag it. Here you can see before we added the 3 edges, right? So it remembered. If you scroll it on your scroll wheel, you can change how many edges you want to add. You can also hold the shift key to move it very slowly. So that's it. You can also change it from here. I just did it this one and this one separately to just show you how to do it manually. I'm just undoing it again. So here alt select, then after holding shift key, then press alt left click and it will select the both edges. Now use Ctrl B. You can use your scroll wheel to how many edge lines you want to add. I want just 2 edge lines. Right. Imagine if you want to do it on top side and bottom side and you don't want to do it manually, there is option in Blender. Here on the right side, this is called modifier section, and you are going to use it a lot in future. So select this, add modifier, go to general, and here you can also see bevel option here. Select it and it created bevel on every edge. Here inside, outside, here also inside, you can also see it. So it will create bevel wherever the edge is visible. Let's see it on the cube. Let's add bevel on the cube. Here you can see wherever the edge is visible, it added the bevel. You can also add edges here and it will create smooth bevel. So select this one, add some edges. Now here hold the shift key to move it very smoothly. Right. I will add another segment. Yep. So since we added the smooth edges, we can see this faces showing up, right? To make it smoothly, press right click. Then here you can see shade smooth. If you press shade smooth, the faces will be gone. If you decrease the segment, it's going to look like a low quality model. If you add segments, it will be more and more smooth. Don't add this a big number. The more you add this, the mesh is going to become very dense and it will slow down your render. So let's add it small thing. Now let's add lighting. First let me add a camera. It added. We don't want to do it manually, so in Blender there is an option. You can move your viewport like this and you can make the camera look the same we are looking in the viewport. To do that, you can use the shortcut Ctrl Alt 0, right? Or you can select the camera, go to view, align view, then align active camera to view, and it will snap it where we are looking. Ctrl Alt 0. Now I like this view. Let's move the ground only in the Z direction. You can also do it by doing this. Let's scale it. So in the previous video I showed you Eevee render. In Blender there is two renders. One is Eevee and the other is cycles. What Eevee do is it will fake lighting. So if we add a lighting like this, and it will fake the lighting. In cycles it will add a light ray and it will make it bounce. So if you go to cycles, you can see it will look very similar to real life lighting. Since I am using the CPU, it will be slow. If you have a GPU, you can first select the GPU and it will be very fast. So you can see the difference here. If you go to Eevee, the shadows are really fake. If you want to render anything close to reality, go to cycles and render it here. So why Eevee exists is it will fake and it will render very fast, but in cycles it will take a lot of time to render this. So since we are in the cycles render, in the previous video I already told this, if you have a big number, it will calculate again and again. So using something like 128 is a good number. So since we are in cycles, let's delete the sunlight. Now shift A, light, and add area light. Here is the area light. If your scene is very laggy because it using CPU or GPU, you can always go to the solid view and do the editing work if you feel your scene is lagging. Since my computer is perfectly working, I'm going to use the cycles. So move it here, rotate it. Let's increase the lighting, right? I'll move it here. So let's add some material. Let's make this something like this and make the glass a metallic glass, and it will look very realistic. If you go to Eevee render, it's going to look like this. If you want the same look like cycles, you can go to Eevee and you can use a fake ray tracing. It will look something like cycles, but you won't feel realistic. So let's go to cycle. If your scene is very laggy, you can use the Eevee only. I'm using cycles. Since it looks real but also looks fake, right? Because there is nothing to reflect in the scene. See, here everything is plain. It looks very fake. In real life, there is something to reflect. While here some cameraman will stand, or here there is some environments and it reflects here. So let's add some materials like this. You can see it reflecting it. So if you want very realistic image, you also want to concentrate on the environment. So in Blender, there is a section called environment. You can see the grayness is coming from here. If you make it black, it's going to look like this. So here we don't want to see the simple solid color. We want a fake environment. So you can add some environments. I will give some environment in the description, or you can go to this website called Polyheaven. Go to Polyheaven. The thing I'm telling you about is called HDRI. So we want HDRI. So here you can see different types of fake lightings. If you want outdoor lighting, indoor lighting, studio lighting, you can choose it here. So let's select this room, click on it. Here you can see the resolution. Since it is 20 MB, I'm going to download it the 4K. So if you have a low-end PC, go with 2K or 1K. The pixel size of this image will be low quality. So I'm going to download the 4K one. Download. I'm downloading here. After downloading it, in the environment lighting, click on color. Then go to environment texture. In Blender, if any texture is missing, it will look pink color. Okay. In future, if you have anything that is pink color like this, that means some textures are missing. Okay. Now go here and open and select the HDRI and open it. Now you can see it here. Let me delete the lightings and objects. Let me decrease it a little bit. You can see it looks a little realistic, right? Let me change the HDRI. Look at this. Okay, you understand my point? If you decrease the roughness, and you can decrease this thing. Look at this. So let me make it 0 and add some manual lighting. You can go outside of the camera and move your lighting according to it and make it powerful. And let me add some objects to the scene. Right. To copy this lighting, you can use Shift D, or you can add like this. I'm just going to duplicate it by pressing Shift D. and moving it here, rotate it in the Z axis. Let me decrease the roughness of it. Okay, now let's change the lighting of this thing, make it something like blue, then make it something like this, so you can get a sci-fi looking scene. Let's bring it here and make it more powerful, make it this also powerful, bring it down here. This is how you can add a good lighting. So let's go to render, and before that let me save this file. Since we are in the cycles, if you have a low end PC, it will going to crash because it needed some calculations. So let me save the file first. My second project, right? Since we are in the cycles, and if you render, it will also calculating here and then in render. So I don't want to calculate it in the viewport, so I'm going to solid mode, then render image. Here you can see the samples. This is how you can make something in Blender and add some manual lighting and render it. If you want to save it, you can save it here, choose the format, which format you want, rename it, make it like 2 and save it, close. Let me open the file. This is it. If you are watching it, please comment down so I can get some motivation, like someone is watching, so I can make better tutorials in the future. I hope I'm teaching perfectly step by step. If you have any problems in my teaching, I will try to avoid it in the next videos. So if you find this tutorial helpful, so please consider subscribing to my channel. So that's it for today's video, and we will meet again in the next tutorial. Bye.